Well, good afternoon, friends. I'm Cindy Schuffelbarger. I'm one of the founders of P23 Retreat. And like you, I am a bereaved parent. And so, as we come to this time of year, in the month of Thanksgiving, we are often confronted with thankfulness and gratitude. And so, for some who are grieving, um, this can be a really, really hard topic. For others who might be further along in the journey, it still might come with mixed emotions. But I want to share a little bit about my experience and then some interesting things about how gratitude can impact our brains in a physiological way. So, um, shortly after my daughter Ashlyn died, um, I was sitting at home and just I could not control my thoughts, didn't want to get up. And fortunately, prior to her birth, I had been doing a Bible study that at the end of each evening, I was to write down evidence of how I saw God at work that day, or some way that I saw evidence of God in the world. And it that alone was a practice of gratitude, but because I was acknowledging God's presence, thanking Him for the work that I saw Him doing, and really turning my thoughts towards Him. And literally, that study led up until the time that Ashlyn was born. So we then had her for those 3 days in the hospital. And however, as grief ensued when we came home without her following her death, I remembered that practice that had already been instilled of thanking God for something, looking for God in the day. And with the little bit of energy that I could muster, I looked around the room and thought, what can I say thank you for? Like I wasn't thankful for anything. I had two other healthy children. Did not diminish my love or the pain that I was experiencing for Ashlyn. Had a loving husband. We had a home. I had a church family, community, and so but I couldn't bring myself to say thank you yet for those things. And so as I sat in my house in that moment and I was challenged to thank God for something, I was surrounded by flowers from the funeral. And I said, Lord, thank you for flowers. It was the best I could do in that moment. I could thank him for one thing. Now, I know some people that tell me that flowers now are triggering for them because it reminds them of the funeral. So that might not be your one thing to thank him for, but again, I just stopped and paused and said, thank you for one thing. I didn't heap pressure on myself. Um, but this practice of gratitude is really what kind of pulled me out of a downward spiral. I could have very quickly gone into the pit of depression and no one would have blamed me for it, including God. But lifting my eyes and saying thank you to Him really pulled me upward towards Him. And while it was not an easy practice, it became easier each day. The first day it was one thing, the second day it was two things, and then it became a pattern throughout my day to look for things to be thankful for and to express that to him. And so, interestingly enough, now almost 20 years later, and probably sooner than now, but I'm now reading about the information. There's a lot of research on gratitude and the impact that it has on our brains. And so, I want to share some of that today just to encourage you. Um, gratitude actually does boost our brain function. Now, I want you to hear me in this. This isn't an attempt to minimize pain or ignore grief. It's not that whatsoever. It's simply a statement of gratitude that opens the doorway to being better able to process our grief. And there's several reasons why that is. So, expressing gratitude. So it could be saying it out loud, it could be writing it down. Most of us in the early stages of grief are probably not writing thank you notes. Um, Maybe we're sending a thank you text. I don't know. But expressing for me, it was saying it out loud to God. God, thank you. You see me. You love me. And I can be grateful for this today. So it's an expression, however that looks, but expressing it can lead to neurotransmitter release. Um, Particularly, it helps release dopamine and serotonin, which are key chemicals in improving mood. and increase feelings of satisfaction and pleasure. And as you know, when we're grieving, we have very little satisfaction and pleasure. And so these opportunities to simply say thank you can help regulate our mood in a sense and bring us to a higher level. Again, this is not about stuffing our grief and not feeling our feelings. It's about taking a little bit of a break and helping pave the pathway forward. The second thing is stress reduction. Practicing gratitude can lower our cortisol levels, which is our primary stress hormone. Now, excess cortisol can cause changes to our eating. It can cause us to overeat. It can impact our sleep. And so, gratitude can help calm the nervous system, reduce anxiety, and decrease feelings of stress and depression. Gratitude can also strengthen our brain regions in various places. So, um, gratitude activates the prefrontal cortex. We talk about that a lot. And that's responsible for our higher level thinking. It's responsible for decision making. It's responsible for emotional regulation. So if you've ever felt dysregulated, know that that's happening there in that prefrontal cortex. So the regular practice of gratitude can actually increase the size and density of this area, leading to greater resilience. And for anyone just joining us, just a reminder, these are ways that gratitude can help our brain function, but it is never intended to ignore our pain or minimize our grief. It's simply an opportunity for us to improve brain function that opens the door to us processing grief in healthy ways. Um, Expressing gratitude can also reduce negative bias. We are wired to protect ourselves from threats, and so this leads to a negative bias in our thought life. Gratitude helps counteract that by rewiring the neural pathways to make the brain more sensitive to positive experiences. So the more we're looking for positive things, the more we're going to experience positive things, and it makes a neural pathway for us to be able to do that a little more readily. It also enhances neural connectivity. Consistent gratitude strengthens these connections, improving overall brain connectivity and neuroplasticity. That might be a term that you've heard recently, is basically we can redirect thoughts and relearn things and reshape how our brain reacts to things. And so this makes it easier for the brain to shift to a more positive mindset over time. And then gratitude supports cognitive function. By engaging that prefrontal cortex, gratitude can improve focus, problem solving skills, and creativity. And for anyone that's in an early season of grief, or maybe you're a little bit further out, but you can remember that brain fog. And focus was nearly impossible some days. Making decisions feels so overwhelming. And so gratitude is going to support cognitive function and build this muscle and makes it a little bit easier for us to focus and make decisions. And the creativity piece has been huge for me. It's an area that I'm trying to explore more in the literature, but there's a whole link to resilience and grief and creativity. And so again, gratitude can open up that pathway that we can explore creativity and find more helpful ways to process our grief. Again, not to minimize our pain, not to forget our loved one. That's not what we're doing. We're not stuffing our feelings, but processing and being able to be in a place where we can be present in today and know that there is worth and value in living. We can carry our child's memory forward with us. We can adapt to what that continuing bond relationship looks like. And so, again, gratitude can help us formulate these ways forward. And lastly, expressing gratitude can calm the amygdala. And the amygdala basically is our alarm system for stress and threats. And so, gratitude can reduce the activity in the amygdala, leading to more calm and a more balanced emotional state. And if you're like me, we can all use a little more of this. So, um, I hope that you are encouraged by this. I hope that sharing about gratitude doesn't make you feel like, oh, it's one more thing I have to do. Again, start simple. It might be one thing today. Maybe you're thankful. Um, that the sun is shining. Maybe you're thankful that you got to go for a walk outside. It can be so, so simple, but try to make it a habit of each day. And you will find that the color returns to your days, joy returns to your life, and you're able to do those things without forgetting your child, without loving your child. But it's honoring you and your child by being healthy. And so, I am going to express my gratitude for each of you. I am thankful for your bravery to continue walking this journey. It's not one that any of us asked for. But thank you. Thank you that you're showing up in community. I see you guys encouraging each other. I see you guys sharing your hearts um, with your spouses and with others in our online community. And so I just thank you. Know that I'm praying for you, and I wish you a afternoon filled with peace and moments of joy. Hope you have a good day.